Now you're probably watching this for one of two primary reasons. Either one, you saw my previous video, or two, you play BTD6 and you want to know what the game is. Now, this is the second part to my previous video where I just really talked about some of the core concepts of BTD6 along with a couple of towers and how they're similar to some of the core concepts in life and how you improve yourself in life. But if you want to go and watch my previous part, you don't really have to, but if you do, I'll leave something up here because a lot of the core things that I talked about in my previous video are going to be here. So you don't really have to go and watch another one. You might as well just stick around for this one. But if you do, I appreciate you greatly because a view is a view, alright? But one last thing I do want to say is I really do appreciate some of the support that you guys gave on my last part. And that's something really nice to me because it's a video that I had a lot of fun making. It's a video that I thought the idea would do pretty well. And you guys reciprocated my feelings. So I thank you greatly for that. But yeah, let's just get into the video now. Now, firstly, let's talk about what BTD6 actually is. BTD6 is a tower defense game in its core, being you place down towers, you defend enemies that come through a path and prevent them from getting to the end, your base. And the towers in BTD6 are just monkeys for the most part. There are a couple exceptions being the tack shooter, the bomb shooter, the monkey village, but most of them are just monkeys doing their own things, doing their own way to pop balloons. And some of them are quite unique. You can go from just normal boomerang monkey that throws a boomerang to a monkey that flies around in an attack helicopter to quite literally Batman. Where some of the balloons start off quite tame, just being colored balloons, red, green, blue, pink, or they can go up to very large blimps like the BAD, the BFB, or some of the big bosses with special abilities being Vortex, Balloonarius, or Dread Balloon. And the monkeys and balloons in BTD6 are the equivalent in life to the good habits and the bad identities that you want to get rid of with those good habits. Because constantly, your monkeys are going to be fighting off those balloons, and that's what your good habits in life are always constantly trying to do. They're trying to fight off those bad parts of you, constantly going back on bad things, where you try and change yourself slowly and surely, changing who you are, who you believe you are with those good habits. Through constant perseverance and consistency, you can fight through those balloons and you can fight through those bad identities. Now, there's a couple of towers that I actually want to really talk about in BTD6. First tower being the tack shooter. Now, the tack shooter requires specific placements on specific maps to be really effective, because on most maps, the tack shooter isn't all that great because it covers a very short part of the map and it requires maps that loop around a lot in the same area for it to be truly effective and do a lot of damage. And the equivalent of this in real life is going to be something like meditation, right? Meditation requires a lot of focus, a lot of purposeful use for it to be truly useful, truly effective. And I find that meditation can be very effective if used in the right areas, right time, in the right place. Because in meditation, you need to hone in on focusing on just very subtle things, not letting outside sound get to you, and being in a quiet area also really helps. So the area and time and place you need to apply meditation at is very, very limited. But the next tower I want to talk about is the glue gunner. The glue gunner is a big support tower where it helps slow down the balloons and gives your other towers more time to attack and do damage. Sometimes if you upgrade it enough, it can go up to the point where it can do more damage, right? Or it can allow your other towers to do more damage, or you can get the balloon solver to deal with some things yourself. And the equivalent I would say to this is discipline in real life. Because discipline allows you to resist those bad habits, those bad identities, and the things that you want to get rid of, right? You gotta resist the temptation to do certain things. But your discipline isn't unlimited and it kind of struggles to deal with things on its own, but that doesn't mean it's not able to. If you're disciplined enough, you can get through nearly anything. Just look at David Goggins, right? But you do have to upgrade your discipline to a very, very high degree. But the very last tower that I want to talk about here today is the Spike Factory. Now, the Spike Factory is something that you just leave at the end of the track to allow for big power stacks to sit there, and it's a big safety net for you, because if things start leaking, you at least know that you have a chance because you have a big pile of stacks to sit there. And you can upgrade the spike factory to either be something that just sits back there, gathers a big pile of spikes, the perma spike factory, which just throws down really powerful spikes and lets them sit there for a very, very long time. Or maybe you have something that's a little bit more proactive, like this Super Mines spike factory, where you want to place up front since the lifetime is quite small, but it does very, very big damage. And the spike factory, I would say, is something like journaling. And the reason why I say it's like journaling, because when I journal, it's something that allows me to reflect on the day, count my wins, count my losses, but most importantly my wins, to just become motivated and become able to just deal with my bad habits at the end of the day if I really need to, right? It's right at the end, it's right there, and it's just one last push for you. It allows you to push forward and deal with those bad habits one last time before the end of the track and keeps you going. It's that last thing that allows you to stay strong and stay solid through it all. Now, a very important part of the game where you need it to place down any towers is cash. Cash is a necessity in any tower defense game, whatever resource it is you need to place down towers. Because without towers, you can't win the game, you just lose, and there's no other way around it. There are a couple of things where you have, like, I don't know, 1,000 super monkey storms, but those aren't reliable, right? Your main source of damage against balloons are going to be towers, and without towers, you lose the game. Without towers, the balloons go through, and without towers, you lose all your lives. And the equivalent to cash in real life is going to be your energy and your time. You need time, you need energy to actually go and do those good habits. If you don't have the energy, if you don't have the time, and you don't spend the resources well enough, you're gonna lose the game eventually. Now, placing down towers isn't the only thing you actually do with cash. You can actually upgrade quite a lot of things. Every single monkey has 3 different upgrade paths and 5 different levels to them. Some of them can go a little higher with paragons and such. With most of these upgrade paths, there's a general theme, either being getting more damage, getting some utility, or more damage. Most of the time it's more damage and being able to take care of more things. And so sometimes you have to consider when to buy these upgrades or what you really need and planning it methodically throughout your runs. You need to constantly think about, okay, what is the goal of this, or what do I really want to buy at the end? Because sometimes I go into runs just thinking of what I want to do, mainly getting like big paragons. I tend to go towards like the ninja paragon a lot of the times. I like the ninja monkey quite often, but each upgrade comes in handy and you need to buy different ones at different times, because maybe you get hard stuck at a single wave and you're retrying over and over and over, right? But you need to find the right upgrade with the right cash you have in the moment. Maybe you have enough cash to buy a tier 5 or Call of Arms on a monkey village. It might not be worth going for that tier 5 because maybe all your other monkeys are quite strong and a Call of Arms would be more efficient overall in terms of DPS, right? Maybe that's it. But you need to think about what those upgrades do and use your cash thoroughly. But at the end of the day, these upgrades will benefit your monkeys regardless and make them stronger. And the same is in real life, where you have to get better and upgrade yourself in these habits, you know? Maybe you're going to the gym and you upgrade yourself, you get better. Or maybe you get more efficient at doing work and such. Finding small little ways to optimize and be better and to improve the habit as a whole, not only in your ability to do it, but just your overall experience and learning from it. And sometimes you have to pick what kind of upgrades you have to go in and add on to these habits, you know? Maybe sometimes you just have to be more efficient, being that in this period of time, there's a lot of things going on and you don't have as much free time. Or maybe you do have more free time and you have the ability to increase the total amount of time you put into this habit. Small little upgrades like this where you have to choose depending on the situation. Now, to do all these things, you require quite a lot of cash. And some of the primary ways you actually earn cash in BTD6 is firstly, popping balloons. Popping balloons is one of the primary ways. It's the thing that gets you started in the first place. Or the second way And the second way is by placing down towers that generate cash for you. Banana farms, or Monkey Village, or getting the Monkey Town upgrade that allows you to get more cash per pop, or placing down engineer monkeys with balloon traps that allow you to make more cash per balloon. All these things will in the end aid you to better. All these things in the end will help you to make a stronger defense and gives you a little breathing room and not having to be super optimal in everything and making min-maxing a complete necessity, because you get an excess of resources and you have more room to play around with. The same as in life, because the equivalent of these things are going to be those small wins you get from defeating those balloons, defeating those small identities and those bad habits, right? Maybe you fend off a bad habit today. That's a win. You get more energy through motivation. Or maybe you get closer and you know how to deal with it. That's motivation. That's energy towards going back into those habits and learning to do them better. Or you start to reinvest into yourself, as I said before, putting more cash into upgrades and towers that allow you to be better and allow you to do those habits more often, gaining confidence, energy through getting better. Those upgrades, as I said before. Now, right now, I really don't know if a lot of the stuff that I'm saying makes sense, because right now I'm sick, my brain is going crazy. I just wanted to make this video a thing right now. I felt a little guilty not making a proper video in 2 whole weeks, so I decided this would be the week, and I'm feeling a little better, but I still feel kind of dookie. So if this video is kind of like non-comprehensible, I really do apologize for that. I was gonna say appreciate, but I do really apologize for that. Now, going into the actual beginnings of your runs, right? In the game of BTD6, you can choose a couple of things, being the difficulty and the maps you play on, both really determining how difficult the run in and of itself is going to be. The maps determine how difficult it is to get good monkey placements and how far or how much of the map your monkeys can see, and the difficulty determines how strong of balloons that are going to come out in the very last waves. And these things in real life are going to be your situation, right? Maybe you're playing on hard mode on a hard map in real life, and that's going to make your life a lot more difficult, You're going to have less options, you're going to have less time, you're going to have a lot less things and choices to actually do in the moment. Because maybe you're restricted to a couple of things. You don't even have access to a gym, maybe, and you have to go down free-to-play calisthenics, right? Your options are limited. But as those difficulties increase in the game of BTD6, your rewards for those games also increase. When you beat a hard mode map on hard, also, you get quite a lot of monkey money compared to doing it on an easy map on an easy difficulty. And the same is in life. When you beat and actually manage to win against all those odds, all those situations in life that are kind of going against you, those external factors that make things a lot more difficult for you, that's a big win. That's a lot of knowledge gained, and you become stronger as a whole. And the things you actually get from winning those hard games is monkey money. And monkey money can be spent in a couple areas. Through power-ups. Power-ups, really easy ways to get some quick boost, and temporary things that help you get through the initial moment. Or putting that monkey money back into monkey knowledge to make your towers and games as a whole a little bit easier. And the equivalent of these things in life are motivation, When you use that power-up, it's a small little boost that you give yourself, those memories where, yeah, I beat this, and it just gives you a small boost in the moment when you just need it. Or that monkey knowledge, reinvesting or getting that knowledge from those runs, getting better and understanding more of how to go into the next time and making these experiences a little bit easier. And I nearly forgot to talk about this last thing you can buy with monkey money, being heroes. Heroes are essentially towers, but with a lot more to them. They're stronger, and they limit you to only using one. Now, heroes have very different things, with each one giving you different options. I'm not going to talk about Quincy because he just kind of sucks, But about other heroes, right? Maybe you have Gwen, does pretty decent damage on her own, but most importantly, some of her abilities can really buff towers and allow your entire defense to excel and start doing better. Or maybe you have Churchill that buffs military monkeys and you want to do a really military based run. These heroes can benefit you greatly in choosing which ones, and spending your monkey money on the right one can be really important. And so an equivalent like this in real life is going to be something like reading, right? Reading is something that you have on the side to benefit other things in life. Most of the times, you don't read to change something. You read to understand how to change something. And it's something that supports all other ongoing activities in your life and makes them more efficient, more effective, and just stronger as a whole. Reading itself doesn't really take care of the bad habits, but putting it alongside with other habits, like, I'm just going to go back to the gym example, reading up on some anatomy stuff like genuine biology can help you to understand building muscle and getting stronger in the gym a lot better, being a really important supporting activity. And I think that's what heroes really do in BTD6. But yeah, that's about it for me in this video. I hope you enjoyed this as much as the last one. I know I didn't speak as well as this one, and the editing might be a little bit off since I am sick and I'm a little bit lazy right now. But I hope you found something helpful and interesting in this video, at least. But yeah, that's about it for me. So just stay consistent, stay disciplined, and keep on building that relationship with God, all right?